who owe it a duty of faith to kill me because I have a different philosophy or I have a different religion. And again, when you look at it, when we were, I mean, even when we were in a regional system, you find out that, you know, we progressed far better. We performed better than when we had a common center. And so the restructuring we are talking about is not going to help us at all. Because at the end of the day, we are going to have an omnibus federal government. You are still going to have somebody at the center. You're still going to have, I mean, when you want to restructure, how are you going to restructure it? Are you going to restructure it based on what? Because any restructuring you are going to do, by the way, let me say this as a matter of fact. I am saying this emphatically, that any restructuring you are going to do must be subjected to constitutional amendment. And please, anybody on this forum and anybody listening to me all over the world, I want you to do me a favor. Take 15 minutes, not more than 15 minutes. Go and read Section 9 of Nigerian Constitution. Section 9 is the section that has to do with constitutional amendment. So any restructuring you are going to do will be subjected to constitutional amendment. Because anything that's not in the Constitution must be brought into that Constitution by way of amendment. It is right here in Section 315 of the Constitution that every law must be brought in conformity with the Constitution of Nigeria. And so when you read Section 9, you find out that if you are going to be involved in anything that is going to go against the political and economic interest of the North, my dear brother, let us tell ourselves, because the greatest mistake and the greatest error anybody can do is to lie to himself. Let us not lie to ourselves. Let us tell ourselves the truth. If you want to do anything that is against the economic and political interest of the North, they are waiting for you in Section 9. And so, even the restructuring we are talking about is not feasible because it's going to be subjected to constitutional amendment. Therefore, the best option is for us to dismember and go our several ways. By the way, who is even afraid of forming their own nation? Is it us? Is it the Middle Belt or is it the Southwest? Why are we don't need that. We don't even need we don't need that big amount of space to be a superpower, because I'm now going into the being a superpower. We don't need a big land mass. We don't even need a big population to be a superpower. When you talk about being a superpower, you talk about superpower economically and technologically. It's not just by population. Is India a superpower? India is not a superpower, but you know how many they are. And so there are other powerful countries that are doing well. What is Nigeria's economic index measurement? What do they have? Are there countries that are smaller by population, that are smaller by geographical footprint, and yet they are like paradise compared to Nigeria? And so to answer your question directly, I am for total dismemberment because we don't have a common value system, and we don't have to be as big as whatever to be a superpower.
A follow-up to this question by Mazi Ezeoke, unless he has a follow-up question. Mazi Ezeoke, do you have a follow-up question to this?
No, Dan, actually I don't.
Okay, so my follow-up question to this will be, well, even if the circumstances in Nigeria makes Nigeria ripe for dismemberment, are the people themselves ready for that? How do you intend to get even the people of the Lower Niger Congress to agree to the solution you are proposing, and then getting the rest of the Nigeria masses to agree to your proposals? How do you intend to do that?
The first part of your question is the way to do it is through referendum. That's the first answer to your question. Now, the second part of your question is that part of the NINAS, or call it MNN or NINAS program or agenda, is to conduct what is called charter of relationship, and also conduct in-house discussion. There will be an enlightenment period among the indigenous peoples of the various. So when the force majeure is declared, there will be a period for which, you know, the various blocks will have to do their own internal consultation. It's called the charter of relationships. It may be easy for some, like the Yorubas. It may take quite some time and effort on Yoruba. The Yorubas they are monolithic, whereas the lower Niger area and the middle belt, they are heterogeneous, and so it will take some time to discuss and, you know, come up with some form of understanding among the indigenous ethnic nationalities within that space. So yes, it's doable through referendum, and then there will be internal consultations and discussions among the ethnic nationalities within a given block. Of course, if some people say they want to continue the caliphate to be in their one Nigeria, that's no problem. It's freedom of choice.
I have followed your argument so far with keen interest. But the area where we need some clarification, please, is on this issue of, okay, we are aware that Nigeria have had constitutional conferences, and we know that there have been efforts by people outside the government to organize a conference, and what came to those attempts. Now, how will we make the Nigerian government to allow for your proposals? I know you've touched on it before, but I still need some clarifications on that. How do you intend to make the Nigerian government to allow this referendum to take place inside Nigeria without the involvement of a force that will make them to agree to that, say the International Security Council? So how do you intend to do that?
The whole thing is centered on the owner's country. It is something that is being demanded, or an action by the indigenous owners or ethnic nationalities or constituents of the country. The government is only a hired hand. They are just hired. They are not more than the people. This is what the people themselves, what the indigenous. That's why I said there has to be it has to be something that is coming up from the people, and that is why it is an action. It's a multi-regional action consisting of the Middle Belt, the Southwest, and then the Lower Niger area, which is the Southeast and the South-South, so-called. You know, so it is not a question of, you know, begging government. It is the people themselves that are going to demand it. It's the people that are going to demand it. It's not violent, you know. It's not something that is going to erupt into violence. The people involved, citizens, you and I.
And how far have you gone with this arrangement? How far
have you saying that this thing would have taken place in March, in first quarter of 2020. However, the pandemic kind of put torpedoed it. But now I think it's coming back very, very soon. The conveners They are working tirelessly on that, and in a matter of weeks, everything will be unveiled. You know how they say it, Daniel, in Igbo proverb, that you know, something that you wrapped up that you want to unveil. There's no need pinching it. You know, that's the Igbo proverb. I'm sure you understand what I mean by that. You know, it is coming up, and
in a matter of weeks, you said.
Yes, in a matter of weeks.
And that will happen in Nigeria or outside Nigeria?
Of course, it's going to be in Nigeria. It's not.
You have muted yourself. Yes.
Sorry?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Is any other person wanting to ask a question? Otherwise, we'll start bringing the interview to a close. It's been a very interesting. Okay, we have a hand there. Mr. Abbas Ilikan, please unmute yourself. If you want to make a contribution, please make it in less than 1 minute. But if it's a question, please ask your question.
Good evening. Thank you very much. It's Chief Ilikan speaking from Germany. Thank Mr. Dr. Iroanya for his lecture. But in fact, we have talked so much about this affair of Nigeria restructuring, and I think we are speaking too much. I agree with Dr. Iroanya that the change or restructuring or changing the constitution is the matter belonging to the people of Nigeria. There's no question of begging anybody. But the work is how to get the West, the Niger Delta, the lower, whatever you call them, the ethics, the Middle Belt people together. Now Safari people, the House has themselves. That is what the work is. How do we get these people together? And that is where I would say, Dr. Iroanya, you get your people together, mobilize them, and then link up with the West. If the West are ready to move, then we move. The Southeast, we move. That is the thing. But it seems that all our people, including including whatever you may call them, including the Anifere and all whatever, they are speaking grammar. Let them start and mobilize people to wake up. Be it in the church, tell people tomorrow we are meeting at the stadium. And the federal government must listen, whether they like it or not. They are in the minority. Why must we be going round, talking every day the same thing, the same story? We're not ready. That's the thing. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr.
Let me say that before you proceed.
Yeah, do you have a response to that?
Yes. Thank you very much, Chief Abasi. I just want to affirm, I agree with you, what you said, but what I want to add to that is it has come to that point where these blocks have come together. They are together right now. And this, in fact, if not for the pandemic, we shouldn't even be having this conversation. If not for the pandemic, what we should be talking now will be, setting date for the referendum. I can tell you that, because when that force majeure comes, in a matter of a couple of months, we'll be talking about referendum date. But because of the pandemic, the whole thing kind of went haywire. So to clarify more on what Chief Abbas said, the blocks are together now, very much together now, and they are going to act as one and in pushing this agenda forward. And that is coming in a matter of weeks, I can assure you.
Thank you very much. Any other questions from our listeners?
Yeah, I have a question, or I have something to say.
Okay. Do you want to turn on your video, or you are fine to speak anonymously?
I don't know how to do that, and it's dark here. I'm talking from Germany.
Okay. Go ahead then.
Okay, my name is Ife. I thank you and I thank every person around here. Some people will be, criticizing and saying, these people, they carry fire all along and they have been there speaking long grammar for 20 years or 21 years or so. Nigeria is a complex country, and I bet that everyone is fed up with that country called Nigeria. And this task is a very difficult one. And I must say that all of us must get involved. All the media houses have to speak up on this issue of constitutional force majeure, because it is not a task of Dr. Clifford Iroanya or Elombah. It is for all of us. Most of us are outside the country and we are seeing what is happening and what is going on. And we just leave it, let them do it. Who? It is in our hands. Because if we don't get it done, then they will get it done for us. And all of us must stand up and say no to that. Countries like Germany, there was a time, there was East and West Germany. But they stood up and said, no, we have to come together as one country. And some people know that country as Germany, but they know themselves as Federal Republic of Deutschland. They say it's Bundesrepublik Deutschland. And then they made their own constitution. And that constitution is paramount to respect human dignity and human rights. But in Nigeria, do they even have any constitution? I see Nigeria as a country without a governmentless country. There's no government there. And look at all that is happening. Nobody is happy, and nobody, I assure all of us here, that nobody can be proud of that country. So what I am saying in summary is this task is for all of us, and it requires a lot of funding. Because when it comes to funding money, every person just goes in and sit down. Let them do it. Let them carry that fire. Nigeria is very complex, and the people there are very complex. All these things, they are very simplified by the way this man, Dr. Iroanya, and the Secretary General, they have been going around, discussing it and explaining it. It's very simple to understand. But many times we see ourselves as, uncultured people with no culture of reading and understanding. So my question to Dr. Iroanya is, who has been sponsoring? I mean financially, because we have to say it the way it is. Financial, because it requires a huge amount of money. How do you get sponsored financially? That's my question. Thank you, and God bless every person.
Thank you very much. Dr. Iroanya, do you have any response to this as well? You have muted yourself. If you can unmute yourself. Okay.
Yeah, you muted me.
Okay.
I had to, so, okay. All right. Thank you very much, Sister Ife. You see, Dan, I actually didn't want to go into this area, but now that I'm being forced to say it, I have to say it. When things come into issue of money, you begin to draw up all kind of conjecture, suspicion, and statement. To be honest with you, the activities of the Lower Niger Congress have been funded by very few individuals who have been touched by the quality of work and the logic behind the proposal. there was no monthly contribution or any levy or any defense fund or anything at all. It's just voluntary payment. And at this point, I must be frank to you, we have, come to the point where we run out of money. So it's actually a difficult time. And the thing is, we don't want to fall into that that very trap of, they are using it to make money, or the money is going to go into Tony Nagi's pocket or Iroanya's pocket. We just don't want to start modeling bringing money issue now that we are almost at the point. But I must say this, we actually need funding now. A really good need. The constitutional force majeure is going to cost nothing less than $60,000 to $100,000, not naira. I'm telling you this. And we don't even have a dime now. But like I said the other day, I was being interviewed. I said, I'm a man, I believe in God. I know that somehow, somewhere, God will touch the heart of some people to support. But for us to go, announcing, contribute to a monthly dues, do this, no, we don't want to, because we don't want to, we just want to take money or fund everything out of the way and, concentrate on the key issues. But the thing is, the reality is staring us in the face is that you can't do this without money. Let me give you an example. The Freedom Park Proclamation we talked about. One page of a newspaper is $500,000. And you talk about 2 pages, that's 1 million there. And if you want to put it in 3 newspapers, that's 3 million naira already. Just newspaper only. Not the venue you are going to hire. The people that will come there, they have to be, taken care of. And the TV and all that will carry it live and everything. So it's going to cost a lot of money. But again, we don't want to put ourselves in the situation where they see us that, we are using it as avenue for making money. And so, like I said, I'm a man of faith. I know that it's going to touch some people to support us financially. $60,000 is not 60,000 naira. That's some good amount of money there. So, but going back to the question of PP, this funding has been, this organization has been supported financially by a few individuals. I want to say this, and I'm not saying it to look like I am revealing a secret that I'm not supposed to do. You know that this thing has got to the point where Tony Nadi himself has to even dispose of some of his, properties to support this financially. He has gone to that extent. And some of us also, very few. So we don't want to present money. We want to let the individual, let your conscience do the work. If you think you can support us, fine. But I have a feeling that somewhere along the line, God will bring people, men and women, who will support us financially. But right now, we don't have any money, anything in our coffers. And we are not mandating or taxing anybody or imposing any levy. We just want the people to freely support. I hope I've answered that question. I don't know, Daniel. I don't know if
Yes, of course. I think you've touched on the question presented by Ife, and we thank her actually for bringing this question up, and you have done justice to it. That is the much we are going to take tonight, and we thank everyone who has been with us tonight on this discussion about Nigeria at Crossroads. Is it time for dismemberment? We will welcome you once again. Our next program will be on Tuesday. We will have another guest to discuss a different topic, and we look forward to seeing you again. Thank you very much, Dr. Clifford Iroanya, for being with us for more than 1 hour. And we once more apologize to all our guests for the rude interruption we have during the meeting. Thank you for being with us tonight, and we thank all of you. Thank you, and have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.